And here we are, Thursday night. Must be newsletter night. What have we got tonight? Oh yes, that's right. We've got diabetes night. It's the fifth biggest killer in the world. It's a bit difficult to say it's the fifth biggest killer because it's really complicit in the other four biggest killers, from cardiovascular disease and strokes and hypertension, respiratory diseases, cancers, dementia. Yes, even dementia. In fact, dementia is called diabetes 3, not diabetes 1 or 2. And so it really is implicated in them all, but it's got its own rating in the world. These are world figures I'm showing you here, not just something I've plucked out of the air, although they could vary, but it's just to show a concept of the relationship between the risks that we run. And I started off so that we could compare it to COVID-19, because it really is a nonsense, the COVID-19 death rate compared to all the other things. But anyway, today we've got diabetes, and I'm going to talk about diabetes because people suffer from it. Certainly they're told they're suffering from it, and they go to the doctors and they say, oh, high blood sugar, oh, you have diabetes coming, or whatever. But I don't say that. I say, oh, diabetes, that's easy. And that's what I'm going to go through today in my diabetes ebook plan. And for clarity, I'm talking about diabetes type 2 and not diabetes mellitus type 1. Now, diabetes type 1, I think it's a silly name to call it, because it's really an autoimmune disease where the pancreatic B cells have been damaged by an infection and or by a nutritional deficiency. They don't really know these things. Obviously the doctor will say, yes, it's caused by this or whatever, but they've no real idea because they don't really understand how human health works. They just have a pharmaceutical background, and they try to tailor everything to suit the pharmaceutical background. So the recovery for type 1 is the same lifestyle nutritional plan in conjunction with stem cell treatment. So type 1 is a autoimmune disease, damaged pancreatic B cells. Your B cells can't do their job, but could be 30 years ago the first studies were done on stem cell treatment, where they just literally put some stem cells into a vein from the vein or artery, I can't remember, from in the leg, and they made their way to the pancreas, and the cells regenerated and started working again. Why have you not heard about it? Well, you've not heard about it because it replaces medicine, it replaces drugs, it replaces medical treatment. When you can have a quick stem cell treatment, just injecting some stem cells in and everything regenerates, you don't need doctors. In fact, they're panicking because stem cells are being used for all sorts of things, that and PRP, platelet-rich plasma. And it won't be long before there is no real need for doctors at all. Of course, that's why they're going hell for leather to try to terrorize everybody that we need vaccinations, but that's another story. I'll come to that another day. So, talking about type 2 today, not type 1, but if you've got type 1, then you still need a lifestyle nutritional plan, because everybody does. Yes, I know you think you have a healthy lifestyle, but trust me, you don't, because I've almost never met a person with a healthy lifestyle. Well, I look in the mirror and I lead a healthy lifestyle, and my wife does. I won't say we never cheat on it, but we do generally live a really healthy lifestyle. But you also need stem cell treatments, and I've put a link. It says click here as an example of a stem cell clinic. This particular one's in Mexico, but there are others around the world. Yes, you can't get it done in the UK. I don't think you can get it done in the USA. You have to travel to Mexico. There's some in the Ukraine, and I'm sure there are some in India and other places. Why do you have to travel to these countries? Well, because they're just a little bit freer. They're not under the yoke of the pharmaceutical cartel. So, do stem cell treatments work? I can't promise you that, but these places are doing their job, and they wouldn't be in business too long if they didn't work generally. So go for it. But as I say, do not think you just take a stem cell treatment and everything's fine. You have to get your lifestyle and nutritional plan into operation as well, because it's nutrition and lifestyle that actually causes many diseases anyway, without having the added burden of damaged pancreatic B cells. Okay, diabetes type 2. So as I say, this is it's not really a disease as such. It's a lifestyle disease, if we want to call it a disease, but it's literally a dysfunction of lifestyle. And the same way that if you hit yourself on a knee with a wooden mallet every day, it would hurt. And if you kept on doing it every single day, it would hurt every day. And you would go to the doctor and you would say, I've got this really painful knee, doctor. And the doctor would go, oh, right, okay, that's probably arthritis. Take this drug. The doctor doesn't say, excuse me, are you hitting yourself on your knee with a wooden mallet by any chance? They wouldn't ask that question. They don't say, are you eating a really healthy lifestyle? Now, notice I didn't say a balanced lifestyle, because a balanced diet, because a balanced diet means half of everything you eat is junk and half of everything you eat is healthy. That's a balance between good and bad, because I don't know what else you can be balanced with. You've just got, as long as it's really healthy foods, then you don't need a balance, you just need really healthy foods. If half the food you're eating is junk, then the other half must be really healthy. If 100% of your diet is junk, and 100% diet's possible, a junk diet, I mean, let's just think. 2 Weetabix for breakfast, junk. A sandwich for lunch, junk. A pizza for dinner or pasta for dinner in the evening, junk. So you're at 100%. So what would I say a healthy diet is? Well, a green smoothie with avocado and about 3 or 4 different types of vegetables in a smoothie in the morning. Perfect. What we're going to have for lunch? Well, I haven't got time to make lunch, so I'll go to a store and buy yourself a salad, a ready-made salad. It's not the best in the world, but it's pretty good. So you've got a really nice ready-made salad, buy that for lunch. What are you going to have for dinner in the evening? Well, as long as you've got time to prepare it, you can make a nice stir fry or steamed vegetables and some salmon or anything. Now you're nearly at 100% perfection. Now, if you can't, haven't got time to make it, then go and get a ready meal of stir fry and anything like that. See, you can do it. It's just that you're saying, I can't do it. So you can do it. So diabetes type 2 is a lifestyle disease, and you can resolve it simply by changing to a healthy lifestyle just for 30 days, the lifestyle in my book, and it will be gone. Your diabetes will be gone, finished. I guarantee it. To me, it's not. I don't say anything that's not true, because I've got hundreds of thousands of people that followed me in the last 35 years, and I would be a very lonely fellow if everything I said didn't work. Everything I say works, and this is one of the more simple ones. I help people with cancer, with lung disease, with Alzheimer's, and this is a simple one, but you have to do what we say. Then it's simply a matter of staying on a good plan, and a good plan isn't perfection. It's like 75% perfection and 25% junk. It's straightforward, and it can help most people recover from the 5th biggest killer in the world. That's a brag. I am bragging that I can help you easily. The other conditions that we've talked about, such as heart disease and lung disease, especially when you've been told that nothing can be done, you've only got a short time to live, or Alzheimer's, they take a lot more time. Serious amount of time to really make it work for you. But this is 30 days, just 30 days of your life, and you've dealt with it. And then you've just got to stick to the plan for 75%. There'll be some weeks like holiday season, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. Then, that's not going to kill you if you go to your mothers and fathers or aunties or uncles or whatever, wherever you go, and they sit down and you think, God, Robert wouldn't approve of this. I do approve of it because it's not going to change your life. It's every day having junk. That's what causes the problem, not once a year, 10 times a year even. I mean, this is, hand up. I've had pizzas. I can't remember when, but every few months, for whatever reason, we just in a position where that's on the menu and that's it for whatever. Whether we're visiting somebody, I don't say, oh no, I can't eat that. It's not on my healthy plan. I eat the pizza. But it is a weapon of mass destruction. So if you carry on eating things, giving them to your children day after day, week after week, and think you're treating them, you're not. It's really not good for them. So what are the side effects of not following a healthy plan and getting type 2 diabetes? Well, if you have type 2 diabetes and you're obese as well, which is a double whammy, because you don't have to be obese to have diabetes. Some people are, some people are not. It makes you open to coronavirus. Now, I know I've said in the past, and I'll say it again, if you've got high levels of vitamin D3, if you're taking 5 to 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3, it won't kill you, the coronavirus. You just get sick and then you'll get better. But you are more likely to get coronavirus if you've got type 2 diabetes or if you're obese. So that's the first one. It's a statistical fact that diabetes leads to heart disease and strokes eventually. Because it's not diabetes that actually kills you. It's just that you just progress to stronger things that will kill you. Alzheimer's disease, as I said before, dementia, it's called diabetes 3. That's because it's the amount of sugar and carbs that people are eating, and that leads to Alzheimer's. Senile dementia, similar condition. So, it also leads to something called peripheral neuropathy, where your hands and feet go numb or tingling and painful. And so, again, this is showing the damage it's doing to the peripheral parts of your body because the blood is not circulating properly. And you've not got nutrition because it's nutrients that actually reverse this. You can't believe this, but lots of people lose their eyesight. It damages the retina. Now, I know I talk about macular degeneration and we help macular degeneration, and we do. And so, if you've gone blind with diabetes type 2, we can still get your eyesight back because it's nutrition that caused all the macula to degenerate, and it's nutrition that will help it to regenerate, plus a health point. But that's another story for another day. Diabetes type 2 causes more miscarriages and stillbirth than people that haven't got diabetes type 2. So ladies, you know what I mean? This is, you shouldn't be thinking of having diabetes if you're going to have a baby, because you want to be healthy and you want the baby to be healthy. And what you put in your mouth makes a baby. In fact, I have an old expression, where do babies come from? They come from the supermarket, because everything you put in your mouth is going to grow that baby inside you. So if you're putting junk inside it, you're going to have a junk birth. It's just a fact of life, unfortunately. Doctors will say, oh, it's nothing to do with that, as long as you eat a balanced diet. Just listen to doctors. You know what I mean? They're absolutely crazy. I'm talking about the medical doctors, the ones who are signed up to the pharma medical cartel. I'm not talking about a good natural health doctor. But they're so few and far between. The average person doesn't find such people. Vascular dementia, that's when the blood flow to the brain is damaged because of the high sugar and carbs in the diet. Kidney disease it leads to as well. High blood pressure it leads to. High cholesterol, although high cholesterol is a slightly different thing, and it's fixed more differently. In fact, I did that last but one, I think it was. But it does lead to amputation of lower limbs. I see people in wheelchairs with no lower limbs, cut off from the knee down. Why? Because they were diabetes type 2 and they did nothing about it. The doctors are useless, and eventually they just say, well, there's nothing more we can do. Your feet are starting to rot at the ends, and so we'll have to cut you off if you're lucky, at the knees. People do. It does happen. And last but not least is every man's nightmare. It leads to erection problems. And so if that's not a good reason to get your diabetes, and I'm not laughing really, because, to me, it's not funny, and none of it's funny, although I have to keep a little bit of sense of humour with all I do, otherwise I'd go crazy, because I'm helping people save their lives, and it is a serious thing I'm doing. So, diabetes type 2 increases the risk of coronavirus, and the deaths related to diabetes are rising throughout the world. It's not, look at China. You would think that they're eating Chinese food, so, it's all going to be healthy. They have got a greater number of people with diabetes per 1,000 of population than the USA, with the worst junk food diet in the world. It really, really is crazy. And it's because they're eating lots of carbs and meat at the same time, or fish. And the worst thing you can ever do is eat carbs, sugar, meat and fish in the same plate. So it's, they do have healthy foods, Chinese foods, when they do stir fries. But as soon as they go on to the Western diet and also mix meat and fish and carbs together, then they have the same problem as anybody else, actually. Now, I repeat this every time, actually. 35 years ago, my mother died. It says lung disease. Somebody's changed that. My mother died of lung disease at age 62, and my father died a short while later of cancer. And that's why I'm here today. Everything I do is in their honour, because I couldn't help them then because I didn't know. But now I know, and now I can help other people. And so I was shocked, frustrated, and I soon found evidence that the majority of diseases that people prematurely die from are completely preventable, and evidence that the diseases are mainly caused by unhealthy diet, lack of critical nutrients, that's minerals, vitamins and things like that in the food, and a poor lifestyle, that is unhealthy body. I'll come to the list of things in a minute. But many of the problems are made worse by severe malnourishment, critical deficiencies in minerals. Minerals are things like selenium and magnesium and zinc, and there's about, in the human body needs about 80 different minerals, and everything in the universe is made out of minerals, by the way. There's nothing else in the, there's 107 minerals in the universe, and everything is made out of those 107 minerals. We're made out of about 80, and we need to be getting them in our body because we actually use those minerals, and some are excreted, of course. So we need those minerals to be topped up. It's not in a lot of the food because the food is over-farmed. The best way I can talk about over-farming is not that nice green field near you. If you look at the Middle East, the Middle East farming had intensive farming 10,000 years ago. And of course, they intensively farmed, and eventually there was no nutrients left in the soil, so it was just all abandoned. And they'd already cut down all the trees, by the way, because they were farming sheep and grains and cereals and all the rest of it. And so that's why that's what our soil will look like eventually if we carry on doing this. You have to supplement minerals. There's no choice about, well, there is a choice, take it or leave it, but I want to take good health, not leave good health. So since discovering all this obvious information, but completely unknown evidence to pharmaceutical industry, well, they do know actually, but they do their best to deny it, and they'll say, I'll give you an instance now. Vitamin D3, study after study shows that people that have vitamin D3 never get the flu, high levels in their body, never get the flu, don't get COVID-19. If they did get COVID-19, it's just a short little setback to them, and then they clear. In fact, studies have been done in hospitals to show that people don't die. The only people that die from COVID-19 are people with low levels of vitamin D3. Now, is the government telling you this? Is your government telling? Is your doctor telling you this? Are they saying, don't listen to us when we said take 600 IUs? now take 6,000 IUs every single day, certainly in the winter when there's no sunshine to help your body make vitamin D3. Are they saying it? No, they're not. Why are they not saying it? It's because they are almost committing manslaughter by not telling people everybody can save their lives by having vitamin D3, because they want you to have expensive vaccinations and get us addicted to vaccinations. So that, because to begin with, they said, well, as soon as everybody's had a vaccination, everybody's going to be fine. Then it's more different types of variants on viruses. They're going to have to, they're going to want to give you a vaccination every single year now for the rest of your life. And to make sure that you do, they're going to stop you traveling. You're going to have a vaccination passport. That's how evil these people are. So that's why you're not hearing what I'm saying from your doctor, and certainly not from the government, because the governments are all corrupt. They're all in the pay of the pharmaceutical industry. Certainly their so-called experts that they have advising them. They even have shares. The top medical officer in the UK has got £65,000 worth of shares in the vaccine company that's the major person in the UK. What? They're making fortunes out of this. Fortunes. The people that are standing there looking on TV, on BBC TV, saying, "Oh yes, yeah, oh yeah, we've got a lot more people down and do this and do that, and we've got to get people vaccinated." It's so corrupt. I just can't tell you how bad it is. So, just a couple of three people write to me all the time. I don't really pay that. I read them, but I don't use them. But I just want to give you a little bit of flavour of what people say. And these are not, I could have picked out ones that just had been on the whole plan, but these are not even that. The first one's comes from somebody called Robert. It's not me, I promise you. Hello, thank you so much. I've been taking curcumin for over 6 months and it helped me to reverse my diabetes type 2. I'm sure they changed their diet as well, but they're not mentioning the other things they did. I sold my last 3 bottles to relatives and ran out last week, so that's why I was eager for delivery. Thanks again. This is somebody who was just obviously placing a new order. Another one is Ruth Ann. I took serapeptase for 3 days and the soreness in my left elbow was 90% gone. I still have a little soreness, but it's slowly going away. I'm type 2 diabetic. My sugar got out of control. I would wake up with 199 or over 200, and I was taking 2,000 milligrams of metformin, not a nice drug. The doctor put me on 4 milligrams of Evander, an even worse drug, and that helped. But then came the warning on the Evander, and that's a warning of the side effects of Evander. So I spoke to my doctor. He said it was a small study to stay on the pills, but I had a friend muscle test me and it tested weak, so I gave the drugs up. I've not been testing my sugar for months, only once in a while. For the last 2 days, I've tested my blood sugar levels. One morning was 157, which is good for me, as I have a leaky liver that leaks sugar out at night. This morning it was 140. That's a miracle. The only thing different I'm doing is taking 6 serapeptase when I get up in the morning. Now, this isn't a good example. This is a lady that's probably changing the diet slightly from my book and everything, but she's only doing one thing and it's changing her life. Can you imagine if you do all of the things, if you're seriously at risk and you do all of the things on the plan in the book and follow the diet and everything? Another one from David. Hi Robert, just to let you know, I've been using magnesium oil for 4 months. I'm diabetic. My natural health doctor advised me to take it as diabetics lack magnesium. Well, everybody lacks magnesium. That's the truth. So it's easy, that doctor couldn't have been wrong because everybody is magnesium deficient. So I have to tell you, it's given me more energy and life, and it's also cured my sciatica, which I get every year when autumn starts. I'm 70 years old and I advise all diabetics to use this wonderful oil. Cinnamon 27. This is Mary Caudle. Cinnamon 27, which is my key product for diabetes, and this is the first one. So I use the others. I brought them all out because I could have just, picked up some testimonials just to prove my point, but I didn't want to prove my point. I wanted to prove the point that if you do anything and start on the right track, you'll start to feel the benefit. So Mary's testimonial, cinnamon 27 has helped me control my blood sugar levels and give me more energy. I've only been on it for about 4 months. I went for a blood test and was told I was borderline for diabetes. I stopped eating all sugar and went back to another test after taking cinnamon 27 and following Robert's type 2 diabetes health plan, and my blood sugar was normal. It's so easy, to me, it really is so easy, but you've got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's like going on holiday somewhere. If you just say, I'm going on holiday, you can't just walk to a bus station and go somewhere or get on a plane. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan if you want to prevent or reverse diabetes too. And if you are seriously ill with it, the critical thing I suggest is water fasting. That is only drinking water for 1 to 2 weeks. If you can't do 1 week, 3 days even works. When you fast, it stimulates the body's regenerative system and it starts to work powerfully. You're not having any sugar or carbs, of course, because you're only on water and baking soda. And so you're really going to, if you like, have withdrawal symptoms from the sugar, because sugar is very highly addictive. But at least you'll be, if you've, as I say, got a serious problem, you're going to start to feel the body regenerate in that period. 3 days minimum, a week is pretty good, 2 weeks is awesome. And as I said, drinking that's a 500ml glass of water, or 16 ounce in the USA, glass of water with baking soda in. And I've got this ready for myself, actually, just because when I'm talking, I sometimes have a sip of water. And so drinking this every single day, times 6 glasses, just even that might actually make a dramatic difference. It's because it's so good. But stopping all factory processed or unnatural foods, and definitely factory made meals, these things where it's been, I don't know, it's not food anymore. If it's been in a factory, it's not food anymore. And that includes grains and cereals, bread, anything that comes from a factory. Now you might say, oh, well, I make my own bread. I'm afraid it doesn't make any difference, really. Even if it's organic flour, yes, you're not going to get the toxins in the flour from the poisons, but it's still too high in sugar, and the body doesn't like it. It just doesn't like it. So no factory-made food, and that includes stopping all high sugar foods and drinks, as well as breads, pastry, biscuits, breakfast cereals, white rice, potatoes, parsnips and pasta. That's white potatoes, by the way. The yams or sweet potatoes are okay. They're relatively low. Obviously, you're not going to eat tons of that anyway. But what you should be consuming is mainly vegetables, leafy greens and other salad foods, avocados, mushrooms, dark skinned fruits, tree nuts, seeds, legumes, and if you're eating fish, it should be wild-caught fish, not farm fish, because they feed the farm fish on genetically modified corn, and it really is to be avoided, as well as chemicals. Taking 3 to 4 teaspoons of Himalayan or rock salt daily. I know doctors say cut down on salt, but they mean cut down on sodium, the sodium that's in processed foods. But if you're not eating any processed foods, you will need real salt, and real salt has got the 80 different minerals in it. And so Himalayan salt or rock salt have all got the 80 different minerals in there. It tastes like salt, looks like salt, but it's a full complex of salts, whereas the sodium that you get from the fine white salt that you'll get in restaurants or anywhere is not real salt. You can take it in your food, or you can even put it in glasses of water if you like the flavour of salt. I personally do, actually, especially in the summer when it's hot. I get a real buzz putting a quarter teaspoon, a third a teaspoon in a glass of water that size, actually. It's very good. But you can look at, I've got lots and lots of recipes, keto recipes on my reallyhealthyfoods.com. It's just a resource. There's nothing else there. You can't buy anything there. But, we have literally hundreds and hundreds of recipes. You just dial up what you want. Keto breakfast, keto lunches, keto evening meals, keto cakes, keto desserts. You don't have to withdraw from having, delicious stuff. When able, you need to be walking and exercising. The body needs exercise to get proper circulation and oxygenation of the blood. And it also strengthens the immune system. So going out in the sun as much as possible, getting as much skin exposed as much as possible. Obviously not in the winter, and certainly not in Texas at the moment. They've got terrible ice storms and snow, actually. So anybody listening from Texas, I really have my sympathy, because you don't know what hit you. I know it's really bad. I don't know how they can cope out there, actually, because they're just not used to it at all. Anyway, but you can exercise laying down, even people that can't really walk or whatever. And I call it the dying fly, actually. You lie on your back and cycle your legs in the air and wave your, keep touching your ankles with your hands, with your fingers, lean forward and touch, bring your feet up and touch your ankles, and keep doing that, for, I don't know, a couple of minutes, and then rest, and then do it again for a few minutes. You can even do it while you're watching TV. It's absolutely, but that's a really, really good exercise. Lay on the back, bring your knees up, cycle your feet, and then lean forward and touch your ankles, or try to touch your ankles. If you can't do it, keep practicing. Breathing properly. Take every moment when you're laying down to practice diaphragmatic breathing. Go on the internet and learn about diaphragmatic breathing. When I say to people, take a deep breath, and they breathe, they go, I said, that's not a deep breath, that's an anxious breath. I don't want you to be anxious, I want you to be relaxed. So it's down here in the tummy. When you take a deep breath in, your tummy comes out like a balloon. And when you breathe out, it goes back underneath your rib cage to get rid of all the excess air that you don't need. So anyway, you must before I start to do this, I just take a breath, just one breath. And then I switch to go live, actually, because it just relaxes you, but it's also getting oxygen around into your brain as well, because I need it in my brain, So sitting down is unhealthy. So walk, stand, or lay down. And this is great for couch potatoes, because if you're going to watch TV, lie down. Put your feet over the edge of the settee or couch, whatever you call it, and watch TV. People say, oh, look at that couch potato. No, they're a smart person, actually. Sitting down is really bad for you. I'm sitting down at the moment. I've been doing it in the other room in the office, but I just thought it didn't look quite right, actually. I was bobbing around too much, and making myself sit down, it just helps me to not bob around too much. I get very excited about this, I can assure you. We all need 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep, and it means dealing with any snoring problems, sleep apnea. Ask our health coaches for help if you've got a challenge on sleeping. It is critical. Our body regenerates, our brain regenerates when we're asleep, and you have to have it. And if you keep waking up, there are things I use. We have a product called GABA, and as I go to bed at night, I take a couple of shots of the GABA. It's not on here. I'm going to come down, and if I do wake up in the night, I take another shot of it, and it just acts as like a real relaxant. And because my problem is, you see, I'm thinking of all the things I've got to do, all the books I've got to write, and all the videos I need to make. Actually, I start thinking about it, and I also, if I start thinking about governments and the pharmaceutical cartel, I can get annoyed. So as I say, I need a little bit of GABA to help me. So we have 2 packs for most of our conditions, and this is the essential pack for diabetes type 2. Cinnamon 27 is my key product. It's got 7 powerful ingredients, and it really will help you to balance your blood sugar levels. And this is what I always have some with us. I've not got it right here, but it's over there, excuse me. And so if I am going to have that pizza or whatever, I'll take 3 cinnamon before we go for a pizza or we have a pizza, because that will block a lot of the sugar being absorbed into the bloodstream, and so help me to not get addicted to it like I used to do. I used to be addicted to sugar and carbs, the same as everybody else actually. But it's going to balance your blood sugar. Do you need it for the rest of your life? No. If you took this for a month and then you were on a keto diet and you were going to stick to a keto diet, then you don't need it. If you're not going to stick to a keto diet as good as essential, so I don't take this all the time. I only take it when I'm going to have any carbs, whatever. And it's, as I say, it's very rare, but it happens. And so you could do the same. You can take it just to get everything in balance, and then stop taking it, and just keep some handy so that you could also take it. It's an antioxidant as well. It's an anti-inflammatory as well, and it's all backed by science, as everything I do. Real science, I mean, not pharmaceutical science. Okay, a lot of people suffer from peripheral neuropathy. That's, I told you before, it's the hands and feet. And if you have damaged your hands and feet and you get any tingling whatsoever or any weird feeling in your hands, this is a very special form of B1, that's thiamine, but a really high dose, and it really works fast to repair the pathways into the hands and feet. As well as that, alpha lipoic acid will also help to repair. Alpha lipoic acid is it does provide pancreatic function, but it also helps the peripheral nerves and the endocrine function in the body. So that's cinnamon, benfotiamine, and alpha lipoic acid, and of course, no first pack, no basic pack ever gets away without having serenol, because serenol has got serapeptase, which is an anti-inflammatory, as you know, and it also has a clonia carva, curcumin, and 1,000 IUs of vitamin D3. Not the highest, twice as much as the government recommend, but I can't, I used to have 5,000 in, but other people wanted to have 5,000 in this or 5,000 that. So I've just got a really reasonable dose of vitamin D3 in there, and that's going to certainly give you protection. But if you have got some serious problems and or at risk of COVID or anything else like that, you need 5,000 to 10,000 IUs a day. The ultimate pack is when somebody was seriously wanting to get healthy. And active life is for everybody, whether it's a 1-year-old child or a 99-year-old adult. They just take different numbers. A 1-year-old child would be taking 1 a day, and a 99-year-old would be taking 6 a day. That's a full 130 different nutrients all in that. Nascent iodine, everybody needs iodine. It's not in the food chain. It's the only food you can get it in is seaweed, such as kelp and kombu, and we need it for all those things there: energy, lung issues, fibrosis, thyroid, hormone production, etc., etc. You probably read article after article that we all need probiotics, and we do need probiotics. I don't say you have to have everything, because you might not be able to afford everything. But if you can have everything, then have everything. If you can't afford everything, then I've put these in order of importance, if you know what I mean. You could, if you were eating salad stuff without washing it. I know it sounds the weirdest thing, but if it's organic, I personally wouldn't wash organic salad stuff. Just an example, because it will be full of bacteria, and we need bacteria. But that's me. I'm adventurous in my living. But last but not least, you heard this before earlier, the testimonial. All they had was the ancient magnesium oil, and they were claiming great results with it. Everybody's deficient in magnesium. Tablets don't work, powders don't work. Ancient magnesium oil literally absorb exactly where you put it. So there is a test for this. If you had athlete's foot or fungus on the toenails and on your feet, if you took tablets or powder, it would not get rid of it. If you put this on your feet and legs, it will get rid of it within days. And that's how good it is. That's how powerful it is. So, as I say, always say, if you can't afford everything, take one thing. If you can't afford anything, ask us for help. We're a not-for-profit organisation. I do want you to help me to share to Facebook, although I'm blocked on Facebook, so it's really almost impossible. I'm going to stay doing this Thursday talk, actually, but I'm slowly moving over to my own. I'm just going to go all the way back to the top and just remind you, I have my own social media things, naturalhealthynews.info, goodhealthglobal.com, and then I've got a couple of Telegram, Natural Healthy News Telegram and COVID News on Telegram. It's on there, you can just click on them, go to see it. And as I say, so please share, because if you don't share it, and then people are not going to hear about it, and there's nothing like, but don't get this information and try to educate people, please. Just say, if somebody's got serious diabetes, just say, oh, this is going to interest you actually, and they can just go here, they can download my book, which is there, and they can read my book. It's everything I've said is all in the book and more. And it's a life-changing health plan. We've got good health coaches to help anybody that wants to actually speak to somebody on the telephone. It's free for the first one, and then it's just £10 a consultation, compared to about £40 if you go to see a nutritionist in their office. So you can see everything is subsidised that we do. And last but not least, share the Miracle Enzyme Serapeptase book, which has got every single one of all my plans, 160 different plans. Okay, guys, I'm really, really pleased to, if you've been watching and listening to this, share it, and I'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye.